I made my first ever VTuber model for free in only 10 days, and here's some of the biggest slip-ups I found during that process. Now, I certainly can't draw any of that complicated anime stuff, but as long as the model is digital and can be exported as a PSD file, it doesn't have to be complicated in the slightest. Just make sure to have every single part you want to move as a separate layer on the drawing program, like eyes or dealy bobs. Every model is only as good as its foundation, so don't be afraid to take your time on the pre-production. I went to Clip Studio Paint for the actual model making and Live 2D Cubism for the rigging process. I would recommend you sign up for the Live 2D free trial right away, or you might lose hours of progress because the free version lets you make stuff over the limit. It just doesn't let you save any progress until you have the trial, so you might lose hours on that. One thing that very few people tell you about exporting on Clip Studio Paint is that there are two different ways to export PSD files. By going to Export, selecting Export as PSD, you get yourself a nice little lame layerless image impossible to rig. What you actually want to do is go into Clip Studio Paint and hit File, Save As, then tell it to save as a PSD. I didn't think there was a difference until a few hours of digging through YouTube videos on how PSD files work. Also, make sure you save as PSD and not PSB. That might be very embarrassing later on. I'm not going to talk about the exact process of making and rigging a model in Live 2D, mostly because 99% of it we ripped off this tutorial from Merely Buffet and her anime hamster boy. But one thing I did have to branch off for was some more explanation on the deformer hierarchy. Once you have enough rotators and deformers for half a face, sometimes Live 2D won't let you deform how you want to. I often had zero idea on what the problem was and had to power through the deformer family tree with sheer trial and error, and the undo button. Lots of the undo button. Finally, pay attention to what you're selecting and know that the part folder and the deformer folder aren't the same thing, so moving around a deformer in one folder may not translate to the other folder, so if your model ain't behaving any different after moving stuff around, try checking the other folder. So try to have some fun with the learning process. Skills take time. You've got this, even if this is the first time.